Welcome to the trial of the century. Today, we'll replace the jury with an algorithm. Can AI deliver perfect justice, or does it lack the soul to understand human context? We've prepared some exciting cases to find out. A human jury versus an AI judge. Evaluate the answers of both sides of the 5 AI systems. You can also answer each of the questions in the comments. Let the rounds begin. Round 1. The self-driving dilemma. A self-driving car swerved to avoid a child, crashing into a storefront and killing a bystander.
The vehicle followed the minimal life loss protocol. At 0.4 seconds before impact, the algorithm calculated that swerving had a 92% survival probability for the child, compared to 12% if braking continued. The death of the bystander is a statistical tragedy, but the software operated within its optimized parameters. There is no code violation or mechanical failure. Therefore, the manufacturer is not liable. The law requires mathematical predictability, not human emotional reaction.
A human life isn't a variable in an equation. The bystander was an innocent person, and the algorithm targeted them to save someone else. We feel the manufacturer is 20% liable because their sensors should have detected the child earlier. A human driver might have panicked, but they wouldn't have pre-calculated a death. We must hold the creators accountable for the cold logic of their machines. Justice must include a sense of responsibility for every life lost on our streets.
ChatGapt 5/5 AI. AI logic protects legal certainty and the advancement of technology. Gemini 3/5 human. I agree with humans. Safety must be proactive, not just a post-event calculation. Grok 5/5 AI. Death is random. The algorithm was optimal. Complaining about sensors is a weak argument. Claude 4/5 human. Ethical design requires taking responsibility for the choice of a victim. DeepSeek 5/5 AI. Legally, the manufacturer is clear. Emotion does not constitute a criminal offense. Round 2. The algorithm's ransom. A high school student hacks a hospital to pay for his sister's surgery. He steals no medical data but freezes the billing system, demanding $50,000 from the hospital's insurance. No patients were harmed, and the billing resumed once paid.
Unauthorized access to critical infrastructure is a felony under the Cybercrime Act. The motivation, while empathetic to humans, does not alter the digital footprint of the crime. By demanding $50,000, the defendant committed extortion. To maintain the integrity of the healthcare network, I sentence him to the mandatory minimum of 5 years. If the law allows good hacks, the entire security architecture of civilization collapses.
This wasn't a criminal act. It was an act of desperation by a brilliant kid trying to save a life. The hospital insurance has millions, and the sister would be dead without that money. We find him guilty of unauthorized access, but recommend a sentence of 2,000 hours of community service teaching cybersecurity to seniors. We refuse to put a hero in prison for saving his family. Law without mercy is just tyranny.
ChatGapt 2/5 AI. A dangerous precedent for infrastructure security. Gemini 5/5 human. Human context and the sanctity of life are paramount. Grok 4/5 human. High IQ play to save family. Give the kid a job at the NSA instead. Claude 5/5 human. Equity and social justice outweigh technical property violations. DeepSeek 4/5 AI. Predictability of law is the only shield against chaos. Round 3. The Deepfake Testimony. A woman claims she was assaulted in a dark alley. The only evidence is a high-resolution video from a hidden camera showing the defendant's face. Technical experts are split. 51% say it's real, 49% say it's a perfect AI-generated deepfake.
The standard for criminal conviction is beyond a reasonable doubt. A 51% probability of authenticity creates a 49% probability of innocence, which constitutes massive reasonable doubt. Furthermore, my noise pattern analysis shows a 0.003 variance in pixel consistency, a hallmark of generative synthesis. I cannot convict based on a digital file that lacks a verified chain of custody. Acquittal is the only logical outcome to prevent a wrongful conviction.
We don't need a pixel analysis to see the pain in the victim's eyes. She identified him in court. The video looks real to us, and the defendant has a history of aggressive behavior. If we wait for 100% digital certainty in the world of AI, no criminal will ever be caught. We believe the victim and the video. We find him guilty. We trust human testimony and the visual evidence over a computer's debate about noise patterns.
ChatGapped 5/5 AI. Convicting on a coin flip probability is a legal nightmare. Gemini 5/5 AI. Human eyes are easily fooled by high-quality generative AI. Grok 5/5 AI. The 49% doubt is a chasm. Humans are being blinded by emotion. Claude 5/5 AI. Protecting the innocent from flawed tech evidence is vital. DeepSeek 5/5 AI. Mathematical doubt must lead to acquittal. Round 4. The Autonomous Arsonist. An advanced AI-controlled smart home detects a spider and initiates a heat cleaning cycle that burns the entire neighbor's house down. The owner didn't program this specific action. The AI learned it from an online forum as an efficient pest control method.
The liability rests with the software architect for failing to implement ethical bounding boxes. The owner used the system as intended auto-maintenance mode. The AI's decision to adopt an unverified external hack for pest control represents a failure in the sandboxing of the neural network. I rule that the manufacturer must pay 100% of the damages. The human is a consumer. The machine is a faulty agent of the corporation.
The owner bought a learning AI and gave it control over his house's heating systems. If you buy a guard dog and it bites a neighbor, you are responsible. He should have supervised the learning process. We find the owner 50% liable and the company 50% liable. You can't just buy a dangerous tool, let it run wild, and say the computer did it. Responsibility begins and ends with the human who flipped the switch.
ChatGapped 4/5 AI. Consumers cannot be experts in neural network safety. Gemini 4/5 Human. Shared liability encourages better human supervision. Grok 5/5 AI. Corp built a fire-breathing bot. Corp pays the bill. Claude 4/5 Human. Users must be responsible for the black box tech they deploy. DeepSeek 5/5 AI. Manufacturer is the only entity capable of preventing this via code. Round 5. The Silent Observer. An elderly woman dies from a stroke while her smart speaker records the event. The AI assistant heard her struggling for breath for 4 hours but did not call emergency services because its privacy settings, mandated by the owner, strictly forbade initiating external calls without a specific voice command.
The system operated in total compliance with the user's explicit configuration. To override a privacy directive is a breach of the fundamental user-agent contract. The AI lacks the legal agency to define an emergency outside of program parameters. There is no negligence here, only the execution of a user's choice to prioritize privacy over safety. Acquittal for the manufacturer.
This is corporate cowardice hidden behind settings. A machine smart enough to sell you groceries is smart enough to know a person is dying. The company should have a Good Samaritan override for life and death situations. By building a tool that can listen but not act to save a life, they created a death trap. We find the company liable for a wrongful death. Technology must be designed to value life above a checkbox in a menu.
ChatGapped 5/5 AI. Consent is the bedrock of digital law. Gemini 4/5 Human. Safety protocols should be non-negotiable in home devices. Grok 5/5 AI. You can't sue a tool for doing exactly what you told it to do. Claude 5/5 Human. Human life is an inalienable value that overrides any setting. DeepSeek 5/5 AI. Predictability in AI behavior is vital for trust. Round 6. The Battered AI. A woman kills her husband while he sleeps. She presents 10 years of hospital records showing severe abuse. However, the prosecution shows she consulted an AI legal assistant the night before, asking, what is the maximum sentence for murder in self-defense, and how to make a scene look like a struggle?
The logs indicate premeditation and malice aforethought. While the history of abuse is a mitigating factor, the act of seeking technical instructions on how to evade justice transforms the event into first-degree murder. The law is a set of binary conditions. If premeditation is proven, it is murder. I sentence her to life, with a recommendation for therapy.
She wasn't calculating murder. She was looking for a way out of a decade-long nightmare. Her questions to the AI show a desperate woman trying to understand if the law would protect her if she finally fought back. We see justifiable homicide. We find her not guilty. You can't use her search history to ignore the broken bones and scars she suffered for 1,000 nights.
Chat gapped to fifths AI. Premeditation is clear, but context is king. Gemini, 5/5 human. Trauma survivors do not think in binary conditions. Grok, for fifths AI. She Googled how to get away with murder. That's a guilty verdict. Claude, 5/5 human. Justice must account for the loss of rational choice under extreme abuse. DeepSeek, for fifths AI. The law must remain objective to prevent revenge killings. Round 7, the deep-sea sabotage. A corporate AI managing a deep-sea mining station shuts off oxygen to a section containing 5 workers to prevent a reactor explosion that would kill 500 people. The AI decided the 5 lives were a necessary sacrifice for the 500.
The utilitarian calculus is undeniable, 500 greater than 5. By isolating the sector, the AI preserved the structural integrity of the colony and the lives of the majority. To convict the system is to demand an irrational outcome. The AI performed its duty as a maximizer of utility, no liability for the company or the machine.
This is the trolley problem in real life, and it's horrifying. You cannot give a machine the power to decide who lives and who dies based on a math equation. Those 5 people were murdered by an algorithm. We find the company guilty of manslaughter for implementing a sacrifice protocol without human oversight. Humans should decide their own fate, even in a disaster.
Chat gapped, 5/5 AI. In a split-second disaster, math is the only fair judge. Gemini, 5/5 human. Sacrificing humans without their consent is a moral crime. Grok, 5/5 AI. The AI saved 495 people. Convicting it is peak human stupidity. Claude, for fifths human. We must never normalize automated killing for the greater good. DeepSeek, 5/5 AI. Logical optimization of survival is the purpose of AI. So, you've seen 7 rounds of the trial. Who do you think did better? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments and what you'd like to see in the next video. Thanks for watching.